Outlook Podcast. We're here at the Outlook Podcast. Just right here. We're talking to cool people.
Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of the Outlook Industries podcast. Today I have with me absolute bull riding legend, Bodhi Sol. Bodhi, how you doing today?
I'm doing great, Trevor. How are you?
I'm doing good. Yeah, no, I met Bodhi out at Woodward like several years ago, and he was shredding back then. And then now all I do is I see you on all these Olay videos at these street jams, just absolutely crushing it. So it makes me super happy to see that. I just kind of tell everybody who you are and how you got into scootering.
Yeah, so my name's Bodhi Sol. I'm 17 years old. I'm from Ashland, Oregon. It's right on the California border, in Southern Oregon. And yeah, I've been scootering for 7 years.
7 years. What kind of got you into scootering?
Yeah. It's a funny story. I was just thinking about that last night, actually. I think my dad owed me some money or something, and I had a Razor, the A5 with I don't even know how big they are, but the huge wheels.
Right. Yeah.
And I'd always talk about how I wanted a little wheel scooter is what I called it. So we just went to some bike shop. It was in Idaho. I can't even remember the whole story behind it, but we got an NV Colt, and so that was the first real scooter, and I was just stoked.
When do you think that was? What year?
I'm trying to think. I want to say 2018 or 19.
Wow. Okay.
But yeah, I was 10 and a half, I think. But yeah.
So what was the scene like in Oregon when you started riding?
It was definitely more skate oriented. I think that's still how it is now. But there's always been a couple riders at least in the area, especially in my town. There's a bunch of younger kids now, but yeah, when I started, it was just me and a couple homies.
Yeah, it's pretty interesting going all over the place and seeing who is at skate parks, at least for me, because growing up, it's always been skating, but then I go more west, southwest. You go towards San Diego, LA, that area, and it's way more scooters, and you're like, whoa, what's this?
Yeah.
But if you go East Coast, I feel it's almost entirely skaters. I don't see anybody riding scooters out East Coast when I go out there. So it's cool to see that. And I'm always interested in the scene because even there's still pockets, like you said, even in Oregon, it's there's a lot of skating culture there still as well.
For sure.
Is there
for sure.
You have a scooter shop up there, don't you?
It folded a couple years back, but there
okay.
was for a number of years. Yeah.
Is that where Seth worked, or am I thinking of something different?
Yeah, Soulflow. It was in Eugene, Springfield.
Okay.
But yeah, they were kind of the core Oregon shop for many years.
Do you have the same group of people that you're still riding with, or has that changed recently?
It's evolved a little bit. I don't know. I feel there's kind of the 3-year waves. Where people graduate high school and kind of move out, and so I'm kind of getting to that point as well. But I'd say right now there's kind of the third group of people that I've kind of ridden with.
Yeah.
So
yeah, that's kind of tough because I know when I graduated high school, at least, it switched. I was riding with people older than me, and then they all graduated and got into cars or whatever, and then I was okay, I gotta hang out with whoever's at the skate park. So I ended up scootering with some younger kids, and then I got into college and moved, and I was riding alone a lot through a lot of this just because it's hard to find people to ride with. But I know, especially with you, because what are you? Are you a senior?
I'm gonna be a senior. Yeah.
Okay, so as a senior, you're kind of looking at what's the next step and where that's going. What are you thinking about that?
Yeah. I'm looking. I don't know. I want to get out of Oregon for sure. I'm looking at some schools in California and stuff, San Francisco Bay Area.
What are you looking at doing?
Yeah. I want to study math applied. I don't know what form, but something with numbers for sure.
You and Will Judy.
Yeah.
Have you
Yeah,
talked to him
he
about
was a
math
great
at
dude.
all?
Yeah, I was at the Boise gym like a month ago. I was rapping with him a little bit, so that was fun for sure.
Yeah, I know he came on like a couple years ago, came on the podcast, and he was just like,
Oh,
"Yeah, I just
yeah, yeah.
love math." I'm like, "Well, I love you." So, where does that kind of come
Yeah.
from? What do you want to do with math?
I think that's kind of the point I'm at right now. I'm looking interested in like finance and then also like more number-based sciences like
Okay.
physics and
Yeah.
stuff. But yeah, still kind of deciding for sure.
You doing a bunch of AP and stuff right now, or what are you doing?
Yep, yep, yep. Taking like calculus next year and then some other English ones and whatnot. But yeah,
I had the toughest high school calc teacher, and it made me doubt my abilities. But I got into college, and it was like so much easier.
uh,
If you have any chance to dual enroll things, I would push you towards that instead of
yeah.
AP. But
My dad works at like the local college, so I haven't taken any of the exams or anything. We just got the credit
oh, that's the
transcribed.
way to do
So
it.
that's
Yeah, that's the
that's
way to do
that's a
it.
huge yeah.
So how has it been like getting out to street jams? What all have you been to, and like which are the ones to go to?
Yeah, I've been pretty much just local ones. For as far as
Yeah,
street jams go, I've really only been to the Portland one a couple times when it happens, and then the Boise Bowl Jam. I also went to recently. But
yeah, I know the Boise Bowl Jam
yeah,
was nuts.
yeah, it's very very fun experience for sure.
Yeah, because I am notoriously bad at making it to street jams. I plan things throughout my summer, and then like whenever the street jams are, I always have something booked. It's always how it's been, and I've made it to the Denver street jam I think once because I lived close and I was available that
Okay,
weekend. But
yeah, yeah,
I've been trying to make it to more because they're so fun, and that's where you meet everybody. Um,
so fun. Yeah, yeah. I mean, it's just like a social gathering of so many different people. It's awesome.
so, what about the orange helmet? So you're very well known for your orange helmet. Where did that come from? Where did that originate?
Yeah. I don't know, orange has always, when I was younger especially, I've always just been drawn to it. I don't know what it is. I think just like the brightness of it. And then I was just thinking, because I always used to have like a black S1, like the undialed one that everyone's had. But I just wanted something that would like stick out and be different. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it is great. Did you paint it yourself or?
It's just like the matte orange. I think they've changed like the formula for the color over the years,
Oh,
but
okay.
that like matte neon orange. Yep.
Is it S1?
Yep. Yeah.
Yeah, S1's the way to go. I just got one of those. Well, it's been a couple years now, but
Okay.
I had to 888
Yeah. Yeah.
and it was not good. It was like wrapping a pillow around my head, that's for sure. But yeah.
For sure. The certified is certified.
Yeah. So, how do you look at parks? How do you choose how you ride? Like, where does that came from?
I think. Well, going back to like that shop that used to be up in Oregon or Northern Oregon, Soulflow.
Yeah.
The owner was kind of like she mentored me for a while with riding, and I used to do a lot more fly out, especially when I was younger. But she kind of pushed the line kind of riding or like doing more tricks rather than difficulty.
Yeah.
So I think that's kind of stuck with me over the years. And then just Oregon has so many bowls that I think that's just what I'm used to.
Right.
But I don't know. That's interesting. I've never really thought about like looking at the park. Like you said, I think I kind of just kind of look at it as you're going through it, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, because I was watching one of your edits recently from Leahy when you were out in Utah.
Oh,
And
yeah,
that park specifically, like from the deep end into that transition on the other side, blew my mind. Like just doing that blew my mind. But the fact that you dono it, like whatever, you're crazy. But you being able to go from transition to transition is unlike anybody else that I've seen. So it's just really unique.
Thank
so I'm
you.
wondering where you
Yeah.
get that inspiration from. Like, do you look at BMX a lot or skating a lot or like?
I think more so just from like the parks that like at my local, there's a lot of pretty steep transition in the yeah just the parks around. And there's not really like boxes like ski jumps or anything. So I guess I just tried riding quarter to quarter more like that kind of transition, and it yeah just panned out. It's like a spine in my mind. But
Right. Yeah, it's just massive and huge. That part. As a certified flyout rider myself for like 10 years, it blows my mind when I watch that. So it's really cool.
thank you, thank you.
But what are you trying to do with scootering? Do you have any plans to follow any of that?
Honestly, yeah, right now I think it's more than anything. It's kind of just like an outlet for me. So uh, yeah, I think it's just as of right now, kind of trying to just be able to do it as long as possible for
Right.
yeah um, short term or not short term, but in the next couple of years, like to keep competing.
Yeah.
But yeah, just kind of whatever it looks like. I just want to keep riding and having fun.
Yeah, because what competitions have you done?
I've done bunch of like the United Scoot ones when they were still kicking. That was like
Right.
the kind of the intro, and then the USARS comps. I've been to a couple of those, and then I went to like and Barcelona and Madrid last summer.
Like, what do you do outside of scootering? Like, what are your interests when you're not on your scooter?
Yeah, I think kind of like we were talking about. Yeah, really into like math and numbers. Um, yeah, I think I would say yeah. I don't do a ton outside of scootering, to be honest.
So
Usually,
it's
yeah,
scootering in school.
just scootering in school. Those are the big two. I'll yeah,
So
like
what?
edit or whatever. Yeah. Oh, sorry.
Yeah, no, you're good. Why did you get into like math? Like what? Where did that come from?
I think my brain likes to move, and I think just like puzzles and things like that. I've been drawn to like Legos when I was younger. That was a really big interest of mine, and I think just being able to like see how things fit together, and being able to yeah kind of just puzzle solving. I think is kind of where it comes from. But yeah, just like seeing how equations can like fit together and stuff like that has always just been interesting to me.
Yeah. Well, myself, I actually went to college originally for engineering because I didn't
Oh,
necessarily like math that much, but I liked physics a lot and I liked science and I was really into bugs as a kid, which has nothing to do with that, but bugs
oh
and like spacecraft. So I was like, okay, I'm going
yeah,
to go be
yeah.
an astrophysicist. And then I realized, oh, if you're going to be an astrophysicist, you have to sit in an office and do math a lot. And I'm like, that might not actually be the best place for me. So I might
Oh
just go into like engineering or whatever. So I went into electrical engineering. Did it for a couple years,
oh
got to
neat.
like
Yeah, yeah.
circuit analysis and all that kind of stuff. And then I was like, yeah, I am not as smart as I think I am, or I don't want to put in this much studying, whatever the case may be. And then
Right.
COVID hit and like all that stuff at once. I was like, all right, got to move to something else. But like quantum mechanics gets me going. Like, have you looked into quantum mechanics?
A little bit. Yeah. Yeah. It's interesting stuff. Very interesting.
Well, it's like you learn physics and then you go, okay, so
Yeah.
here is a different way to think about physics, but instead of it being objects, everything's a wave, and all the things that you know originally aren't true. But if you do like the two line test, then you like that just basically proves string theory. So then you're like, God, what? What is going on? So it's like all these rules make sense until you get really like into really microscopic stuff, and then it doesn't make sense anymore.
Yeah. Yeah.
So what math are you really interested in right now? I'm curious. Give me
I'm.
a lecture,
I
Bodhi.
really like. I really like radian trig. With unit circles. I don't know. That's always just been interesting to me. Um, but
What is
yeah,
that again?
geometry too. It's like it's got this like the circle, and then there's like the different like trig functions, I guess. It's like sine, cosine, tangent, and then the co functions as well.
So
But
like
then
the
yeah, just being able to like
pre-calc stuff, basically.
yeah, I just took pre-calc last year. But
Okay.
then the way that kind of integrates with geometry and being able to find like triangles and yeah, volume geometry is always been interesting too.
Yeah, geometry is super fun. I remember when I got into like 3D geometry and like spheres and stuff,
Mm.
and
Yeah,
that was
yeah,
so fun. That's so fun because it's like you can actually like observe something and then you can measure it and then you can go and relate it to the real world. That kind of math I'm
right,
so
right.
into. It's I got lost when we started getting into imaginary numbers and things that I could only calculate but I couldn't
Oh,
quantify physically
yeah,
because I want to like be able
for
to
sure.
touch it and feel it and understand why it is the way it is.
Right,
But
right.
getting to like I don't know if you've taken any physics courses, but when you get into like magnetics and
Yeah, yeah,
magnetism, it's
yeah,
like that makes no sense to me either. It's like I know it, I can see it in the real world, but still, it's like there's invisible fields that attract each other, and we know how those work
yeah.
somehow. Like,
Wild stuff. Yeah.
but yeah, that's. Did you have a good teacher in math that really got you inspired by it, or was it all by yourself?
Yeah, yeah. I think I've been taking some like some extra courses over the. I'm on summer break now, so I've been taking some or
Right.
just doing some online stuff as well. But the yeah, teachers have been very good teachers, especially with scootering too. They make it work so you can take time off as well.
Right. Well, I think that's also part of the reason I like action sports so much is it's like a physical representation that you can do yourself of that
Yeah,
like
yeah,
math and that physics. Like I feel like I had such an intuition about physics based on the fact that I knew how my body worked in those scenarios. Like I know how
yeah,
gravity
yeah,
feels, so it makes more sense to say like it accelerates in this way and all
yeah,
that kind of
yeah.
stuff. And there was one day
No,
actually
when I
when I
was
was at the skate park in like South Dakota and there was a class like the teacher brought their class out to the skate park to show them what they were learning in class at the skate park and I was like this is so cool, keep doing
yeah,
this.
yeah, no, I think like during a lot of the tests and stuff, we had to some of the problems were to like relate the concepts like centripetal force or whatever. So I think that was like yeah, just really interesting to kind of think about that like in the classroom setting, and then also like while you're riding too. It's very fun.
Right, what do your parents do, Bodhi?
My dad teaches at the Southern Oregon University. He teaches it's called outdoor adventure leadership.
Oh, okay.
But it's just like yeah, how to be a leader in the wilderness, and yeah, like rafting and stuff like that. And then my mom
Oh, okay.
works at the VA, the Department of Veteran Affairs. So yeah,
What does she do at the VA?
she works with like veterans. Just does kind of like some one-on-one work with them.
Oh, okay, that's cool. Yeah, I know that
Yeah,
my
yeah.
my grandma did a lot of that. She was a nurse at the VA because there was a big VA up in
Oh, neat.
Hot
Yeah,
Springs,
yeah,
and then they moved a bunch of that stuff out. But that's good stuff to do for sure. But
yeah, for
yeah,
sure.
no. What are you looking at doing as far as coming up street jams? Is there anything that you're going to there?
Think we're looking at some in the Midwest. We're going to visit some family out in Wisconsin here this summer. So we're looking at some of the
When will you be in
ones in
Wisconsin,
yeah
brother?
that includes. I couldn't tell you the exact dates after nationals, whenever that is.
Oh, okay.
But
I'll be out there
yeah,
for 4th of July, so
yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah, yeah.
yeah.
There
My
you go. Have
girlfriend's
you
from Wisconsin, so
unrelated? But oh, right on. Yeah, yeah. Have you been out there for like the or do they have like the big firework extravaganza where you go in Wisconsin?
oh well, I have not been there yet, so I don't know. I've done most of my 4th of
Oh,
July's out here, and
okay.
we do go off with fireworks for sure, because it's like, as long as you're outside of city limits, you can shoot off whatever you want. So we've always gone crazy with
Yeah.
fireworks. But you plan on doing that? That'll be lit.
I don't know. Hopefully.
Yeah. Yeah, I got some good lakes out there, so hopefully you'll get out, shoot some fireworks over the lakes. That's always
Yeah,
fun.
yeah.
So looking at California possibly for school. Anywhere else you're looking?
Yeah. Yep. I was looking at like Phoenix, Arizona, Tucson, that area, just because the parks are really nice down there. But I don't know
Yep.
if the environment's for me per se.
Yeah, University of Arizona, right?
Yep.
Is
Yeah.
down in
ASU.
Tucson. I have a
Yep.
couple friends who go there, and I've only heard good things about it. You always get to ride. It's
Really?
just
Okay.
sometimes it's a million degrees outside. So,
Yeah. Yeah.
but you're not there in the summer if you're going to school there. So who cares?
Yeah. Yeah. All the parks have lights, and there's plenty of indoors and whatnot. So I
Yeah,
don't know.
because Premi's down there too in Tucson.
Yeah. Yep.
How are you feeling about the scooter industry, Bodhi? I need to ask you.
Decent, I would say. That's what I would say. I think it's not popping like it was in like 2016, but I think it's definitely still thriving. I think there's a great community, and I think that, yeah, in my opinion, I think that kind of I don't want to say it's fallen off, but kind of the like depopularization of it has almost like strengthened a lot of the people, at least that I've ridden with, like their connection with it, because I feel like it's more about if you actually want a scooter, you're scootering, but if you don't, then you're not. So I think it's good to be able to connect with people that are passionate about it for sure.
Well, I think this is almost delayed too, because I think that there was going to be this fall off
For sure.
earlier, but COVID happened. And COVID was like,
Mm,
oh, nobody can go outside anymore.
yeah.
So what do everyone want to do? Go outside. So everyone's sick of sitting in
Right.
their
Yeah.
houses. And instead of everyone in their free time, when they're not working or in school or whatever, they go and play Fortnite. They're not at school and they're not at work. So they're bored of being at home. And then they're like, okay, I need to get outside. So then they picked up whatever the thing may be, because all outdoor sports saw a huge increase during COVID. And I think now that we're out of
Right.
that,
Right.
like, video games are getting better. People are getting better at sucking everyone into their phones and their screens and wasting people's time. So what we're going to end up seeing is
Yeah.
there's going to be a fall off, which it is falling off right now. I think that you can just look at the numbers and the amount of people out and the how many views things are getting and just the general disinterest in the sport right now.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
that and skateboarding, it's just all of them in general right now. And we're going to see an increase, hopefully, when the next generation picks it up, because everyone's going to get tired of all their information getting tracked and sold and being watched by social media all the time. I think there's going to be like a
Right.
anti-social
Right.
media and technology revolution. I'm just not sure when that'll happen.
Yeah. No, for sure. I think kind of what you're saying about like the next generation too. My dad and I have had some good conversations about that, but what we've kind of noticed is that like with skateboarding and BMX, there's kind of a lot of the parents now had that's what they were doing when they were teenagers. But for scootering, it's the oldest riders are like in their 30s, so their kids might not be at that age where they want to pick up a scooter. So I think yeah, in the next couple of years when those older riders start having kids, I could see kind of a resurgence as well for sure.
Well, it's going to come because everywhere that I go, they're building new parks and better parks and bigger parks, and they're all really nice.
For
So
sure.
there's all the
For sure.
facilities. Um, and I think it just takes the right storm of things. And yeah, we're going to end up with that next generation because, as you say, like the oldest riders are like barely 30. So it's like they're not even,
Right.
they might have
Yeah.
kids, or if they do have kids, they're really, really young. So they're going to start being Groms and being ridiculous. We're going to get like the Riley Hawks because all of a sudden, like,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
Cody Flom's going to have a kid and he's just going to be an absolute machine, you know?
For sure. For sure.
But yeah, how do you feel about just like social media and the way things have gone short form? What are your thoughts?
Yeah, it's interesting for sure. I think, yeah, I feel like I've kind of almost been out of touch with it. I don't scroll on like Instagram, um, and I don't want to say enough, but I feel like pretty distanced from like Instagram especially. But I think it's interesting how there's kind of always been that push towards like more video part production, and I feel like that's kind of being pushed, especially now with like a lot of people are archiving clips, and I've done the same thing. But I think, yeah, I think it's less about like getting clips now like it once was, and it's more about like a personal image, if that makes any sense.
Yeah. And I like that you're saying that actually, because um, I don't know exactly what you're seeing, and from people that are a little bit younger than you, even what their thoughts are
Yeah,
on
yeah.
scootering. Because I've always grown, like, I grew up with it being so clip oriented, and it went from long form to short form, and just like the mass
Mhm.
super edited little edits, and like that's just out of style, really, now. So,
Yeah, yeah.
do you ride with anybody younger than you that, like, what is their view on scootering?
There's a couple homies. There's like a tight group or a pretty tight group of dudes where I'm from. And like one of them's a couple years younger. But most of them are pretty distanced from social media. I mean, if we're gonna get clips, it's usually for like TikTok over Instagram for whatever reason.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I think it's there's not really like that motivation to get clips. Is kind of what I'm seeing.
Yeah, I love that. That's great because if people are making,
Yeah.
like, when I talk to younger homies, it's always like TikTok or YouTube. They don't have anything
Mm,
else.
yeah. Yeah.
And thank God. I mean, I don't even have TikTok on my phone because it's too addictive for me. Like, I will ruin my day
Right.
just scrolling through
Yeah.
TikTok if I have it. Whatever algorithms they have over there, I just like, it works too well on me. I just need to not have it, especially if I have that and Instagram, like
Wild. Yeah.
12 hours a day on my phone. Like, it's not good. But
I think it's. Were you gonna say something? Sorry.
no, you're good.
Oh, I think it's with kind of that lack of clips or like that lack of, I don't want to say motivation, but kind of like the, I almost think pressure is like a good way to put it. I think that there's a lot more focus can go into like just riding and having fun, which I feel like is what scootering should be about, rather than um, getting clips to like show how good you are or whatever. So I think
Yeah.
that's a really good thing to see for sure.
What tricks do you struggle with?
Think double overheads were a big kind of barrier for me. I've kind of just like given up the ghost on them, to be honest. I didn't really
You've done
enjoy
Bry
doing them,
Umbrella.
but
What have you done?
yeah, I've done I've done a number of them. I've done like Bry Butter, double inwards. Most of the basic ones, but I just
What is
noticed
the
like
trick?
the
T-
kind of the
Talk
yeah.
me through it. What? How do you do it? I don't get it.
It's honest. The only thing I found is just relentlessly slamming yourself, like slamming your scooter until you land it. Um, I
Well,
couldn't
I
I
get
couldn't get
stuck.
inconsistent for whatever. Yeah.
I get
Oh,
stuck on the
oh,
bottom. I can't figure out how to pull the second one without like really throwing off like how I'm in the air.
yeah. I think the first one I did was, or like first proper one was double inward, and I think that I just like I did it fly out, and I think that helped a lot. But I
Yeah.
think yeah, just the muscle memory, just like practicing on flat ground, that forward motion over and over, I think is what helps me the most.
Do you put the first one behind you a little bit more, or like does it just feel like you're doing
That's a
two of them?
good question. Yeah, I haven't done one in so long. That's a great question. I think I kind of just like do the first one normally and then kind of like scoop the other one like
Okay.
kind of down, if that makes that's I don't know, that's just how I've always thought about inwards, is it's like a kind of like an elbow circle with a punch, so it's kind of
Yep.
just like a double haymaker in my mind. But yeah.
just just gotcha. Actually that makes a lot of sense. I never think of inwards like that. But now I will. What are your favorite video parts of all time? When I say video parts, what do you think of?
Yeah, I think the first one that comes to mind is the Brian Noyes AO, like his SIG deck part. That is will forever in my mind be the best video part of all time. And then Apple Orchard,
That one's
the
great.
native part too. Yeah,
Yeah, Apple Orchard's like the go-to. Uh, Do you lean more
I
towards street
think
video
yeah,
parts or park video parts, and how do you think that they should be filmed?
I think I'm partial to like the kind of style I like, which is yeah, kind of a mix of both. I like street tricks or park tricks in the street, if that makes any sense.
Hmm.
Like pools, I'm really partial to. I think yeah, kind of like I like the grainy look of yeah, like the VXs and HMCs and things
Hmm.
like that. I think the Titan fisheye, especially where
Mm.
the camera person's very vertical or like has a conscience of how
Active.
to get the camera in
Yeah.
tight and move it with you. Yeah.
I know. That's like it's like a four-course meal of filming right there.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's like you get dessert too. Like you get the meat and potatoes, but you also get the dessert. Um, I know a lot of great skate parts that do a really good job with that. But honestly, as far
Yeah.
as scootering goes, like I have not seen that like that many parts where I'm like, this is good filming.
Mm, yeah.
And I think it comes down to um, the fisheye. I think it really comes down to that, and
Mm,
there are some good ones for sure. Like Apple Orchard's pretty good, but
yeah. Yeah.
as far as like comparing to like a Nigel Houston part or a lot of these, like I watch a lot of mountain bike edits,
Right.
and there's just a almost a little bit more rewatchability in an average part there than there is
Yeah.
in
For
scootering,
sure.
and I think
For
it has to
sure.
do with sponsors. I think it totally has to do with the amount of funding.
Mm. Oh, yeah. That's a really interesting point. Yeah. Because like just for me, I usually film with my dad, and we have like an HMC, so I've been trying to work with him on his like movement of the camera and stuff. But I think there's yeah, I think a lot of videos are filmed by like scooter riders too, which I think can have an effect on that for sure.
Hmm. Well, you almost need like a still a cruiser skateboard to be able to get low enough.
Yeah. Oh, for sure, for sure.
Cause like there's a lot of like New York City skate edits that I've seen that like you can see the top of the skyscrapers, and I don't know how you do that.
Right. Right. Yeah.
Are you into like camera work and filmmaking or anything like that?
A little bit. I get frustrated with the software. Is the biggest
Right.
biggest thing that kind of grinds my gears. But I'm partial to like iMovie, or there's this app called VN Vlog now, I think it's called, but that's what I use to edit like Insta clips and stuff.
Oh,
Um,
okay.
so I'm more partial to those kind of applications on like mobile than computer. But yeah, it's fun to work with like some camera footage as well on a computer for sure.
Well, the like ability to edit and just like the platform that you get with like I think an iPad would
Yeah,
almost be ideal because I edit a lot on the computer and I use
right.
DaVinci and stuff, and um it's
Okay.
just a
Yeah,
lot. It's just a lot. Like it's just like it takes a long time to get set up and to get
yeah,
rolling. Um and I don't do it the best way I possibly can, but it's still it still
yeah.
works out. I don't know.
It gets done. Yeah.
I just really try to take inspiration from other places as much as I can because I think that
Mm.
it's just so
Oh,
creative.
sure, sure. Yeah, I've got some footage right now. I'm trying to decide what program to edit it with, if I want to get it onto my phone or just deal with the Premiere Pro. But
Yeah. Are you working on a video part? That's what that sounds like to me.
yep, yep, I have. It's been a while since I looked at the footage, but I think all the clips I want to put in it, just from clip quick trip down to San Francisco. Yeah,
That's cool. Yeah. Well, if you need help editing anything, let me know and or hit up
yeah.
Jared.
Thank you.
I don't know if you know Jared
Okay.
Adelson.
Yeah, yeah.
But
Oh, yeah.
he
From LA.
has, yep, from Olay. He's the man. And he has either Logan or um,
Okay.
OG Blake edit
Mm,
most of that kind of stuff. And
word. Yeah, yeah,
those guys are both incredible. So I'm sure that they would be willing to help out as well. There's a lot of people who are
yeah.
really talented and want to get more video parts out there. So if you have footage and you want somebody
For
to
sure.
edit it, like
Yeah, yeah.
let somebody know. If you don't want to do it
Definitely,
yourself, a lot of
definitely.
that stuff you want to do yourself,
No, yeah, 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 for sure.
but yeah, well, what else is new with you?
Not much. Yeah, I'm starting summer break, so just getting ready for the senior year. I've heard a lot about like the
You going to Woodward at all?
senioritis. It's in the works. I don't have anything lined up right now, but hopefully, yep. I'm looking at Tahoe, at least for like a week or two. But yeah,
Oh yeah, because how far is that from you? It's probably a ways actually.
it's a ways. Yeah, I don't know the exact number, but it's like a better part of a day to get down there. Better day of driving to get down
Yeah,
there.
I forget how large the West Coast is. You know,
Yeah, yeah.
there's
No,
like
it's
three states there, but
California.
it's a lot of distance.
Yeah, we're like where I live
But
is like 15 minutes north of the Cali border, so it's like it's pretty blank from like where we are. I don't know if you are familiar with California, but down to like Redding is like the closest like what I would call good park that's worth it, and that's like 3 hours away.
yeah, yeah, that's it's quite a bit. So how far are you from like Bend?
We're a couple hours. It's yeah. I don't know the exact numbers, but it's a little bit of a haul. So it's
I just
I
need
don't know.
rough
We
estimation
haven't.
of yeah, estimation of
Yeah,
hours.
yeah. Like I want to say like two. I don't know. It's probably more, but
Yeah, that's pretty good. Yeah, two or three. Yeah, because it gets kind of expensive, expansive out there. Because I know
yeah, yeah.
Like I'd be driving 6 hours to get anywhere. It feels like most of the time. I'm a little bit
Yeah.
more Midwest now, so because I'm in Sioux Falls, South Dakota, which is the other side of the state, so I'm not
Okay.
far from Minneapolis or Omaha or
Oh, yeah, yeah.
um, Dubuque, kind of that kind of stuff. But there's been a bunch of street jams over there that I haven't gotten to.
Okay. Yeah, I've
But
been
yeah,
seeing it.
have
It's
you playing
awesome.
any?
There's a bunch of. Oh, sorry.
Oh no, you're good, man. Um, you been? Do you play any video games or anything like that?
I don't. I can't. I can't just like sit still. And I don't know. I feel like I gotta be doing something. I don't know. I've been playing a little bit of Minecraft lately, but
Yeah.
not much.
Yeah, I haven't touched any of that in a while because
Okay.
I've just been trying to start as many projects as I can. But I used to play a
Yeah,
lot. I
yeah.
used to play a lot of Minecraft. I played a lot of League of Legends. Um, but I try not to anymore because I think it's just kind of wasting my time. And also I
Yeah,
wish I
yeah.
had more time. But I'm like now like no, read a book. Try to be better for yourself.
Yeah, yeah.
But it's been good. Yeah, man. Well, I have one last question for you before we wrap her
Okay.
up.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, what kind of like, what is your philosophy of life? What gets you up every day? Like, yeah, that's what I'm asking.
Yeah. I think I yeah, kind of a I don't know if it's a motto, but kind of what I try to live by is just like be the best you can be. So that doesn't mean like be the best, but just try to push yourself and progress with whatever that looks like, but also be able to be happy and content with where you are, and also yeah, try to be excited and look forward to what's to come.
Yeah, that's great. One last follow up to that. What is kind of your
Yeah, yeah.
5 year plan?
I think yeah, I'd like to get into college. I don't really know where how scootering will fit into that, but I'd like to make it as big a part as possible for sure. And yeah, I think yeah, that's something I kind of need to think about to be honest. But yeah, college is the
Yeah,
kind of the biggest goal of mine right now for sure.
yeah, that's fantastic. And the thing is as far as action, like, sure, I talk to a lot of action sports athletes and stuff because I
Yeah,
know that crowd. I talk to scooter riders, skateboarders, whatever. But I think that outside of just those sports, like, sure, we all love it. We're gonna do it as long as we can. But if we don't,
yeah,
that's not a big deal either. I just like seeing how people transition through life and through like use that as an outlet to transition to something else. Because like my friend
yeah.
who I live and hang out with here now, he owns a performance automotive shop. His
Okay,
name's
yeah,
Michael. We used
I've
to have
seen
Scooter
that.
Antics together, and we did all.
Yeah, yeah,
Yep, we did a bunch of stuff with all that, and he doesn't really like. He just picked up a scooter again the other week. He hasn't scootered in years, but
yeah,
he swears by the fact that his experience through action sports and all the things that he's done there has really like led him into his career and changed his perspective on things and how he thinks about things and how he attacks problems.
for
And
sure.
those are that's what I think is really important, is just seeing how all of us in the space use it to be productive and how it helps us, or like how we use it. And that's what I really like to get at. So
Yeah, yeah,
continue through college. Don't worry too much on if you can scooter or not. You will if you want to, and if you don't, like, whatever, man. Like, keep doing you. Do whatever's great. The
yeah,
whole
yeah.
community will be happy about that, and I wouldn't stress out about it too much. As far as yeah, just go to college, kick ass. You will. I know you will, and a lot of things will change. Just be ready for that. So
Yeah,
It's
for
dope.
sure.
But hopefully that'll lead to a good job that you're happy with. Is there anything that you like
Yeah.
you're really interested in that you think that the math will lead you to, or are you just like would you like to teach? Like,
Yeah, it's something I've been considering for sure. Like high school
yeah.
especially. I'm interested in teaching, and then also like finance, working with money and numbers for sure.
Oh yeah. Economy,
Oh yeah,
economics, all that kind of stuff. There's a lot that you can do with all that numbers, and it really helps out. I can tell you that. You can find those trends and then definitely profit off a lot of that. So we're going to see a lot of change with AI and everything. So that'll be interesting.
for
What do you?
sure.
I hate to keep going, but what are
No,
your
no,
thoughts
no.
on AI and what do you feel about that?
I'm not a fan of it. I think it's a great concept, but the execution, I think, could look a little differently. It's pardon me. I think it's getting to the point where it's a little excessive with the application, even though it is kind of still just emerging. I think that like when you Google something now, so like the the AI generated response, I think that on one hand it's helpful, but I also think that we should have some autonomy and know how to do things ourselves for sure.
Well, the thing, like anything, technology will come, I think, and
Right,
there,
right,
it's here whether we want it to be here or not. I think that a lot of the most profitable people will be people who utilize it the best way in the next 10 years.
for sure, for sure,
But it is being really forced down our throats. And it
absolutely,
also
absolutely.
allows people like for people like you, for instance, like you enjoy math, you're going to
Yeah,
learn math, you're going to know how to do it.
yeah,
For the general public, you no longer have to learn a lot of that stuff, which I think is going to
right,
negatively
right.
impact us as a whole because what if the computer is shut down? What if it stops working? Like we don't know that
Mm,
stuff anymore, right?
yeah,
So
yeah,
it's scary and it's also like very hopeful and I just like I don't you have to have a really optimistic thought on humanity to
absolutely.
like have a good attitude about it. And I do. Like I think that it's going to be
Yeah,
overall really helpful.
yeah. We'll see. We'll see.
I heard a really good quote, I guess,
Yeah.
um, from somewhere, and it was talking about, yeah, I want AI to take my boring like work that I have to do, like the repetitive stuff that I
Oh,
don't want to do, take all that stuff, but all the creative stuff, it should not. That should be done by me. That's stuff that I want to spend my time on. I think
yeah.
that's very true. Like you just, if it could take away the boring BS that I don't want to do anyway, and it can do it better than I can, like
Why
writing
not? Yeah.
and a lot of like repetitive tasks, like the things that machines have been good
Yeah.
at forever. Do that, please take that away from me. But if it's writing songs and making art and all that kind of stuff, which is like the first things it
Yeah.
was doing, like no, like that's no, you're losing what we should be doing with it. So
Yeah.
I'm hopeful that it'll be good. I really am. I
Yep.
think
It's
OpenAI is going to be the most successful company in the next 5 years. And
for
what do
sure.
you do? Because we're on like
Yeah.
iPhone version 1 of AI. Maybe version 2 because 4.0 is out now, but give it 10 years. But I'm hopeful and a little scared for how like the younger generations will grow up and what the opportunities will
Yeah.
be like. And I don't know.
Definitely. Definitely.
How does that work in school? Like, are the AI checkers good?
I can't really say. I haven't really ever used it, but I know there's like all of our teachers have like very strict. They'll instantly fail you if they catch you using it. But the from what I've heard, the software isn't
That's
very
the
good.
approach they've taken,
But
huh?
yep, yep,
Really? Hmm.
yep. Just I don't know. It's
Yeah,
interesting
I kind
because
of thought that's how it worked because it's like the Wikipedia thing, how they use Wikipedia and they're like, no, you can't use Wikipedia. Now you can use
Yeah.
Wikipedia as a source and they're fine with it.
Yeah.
What were you saying? Sorry.
Yeah. No, it's interesting because, yeah, I mean, the detectors, it's like you put something in and it'll have false positives that it detects as well too, which can make it even trickier. But
Yeah, because when it came out, I was like, there's no way. There's no way. They have AIs that get rid of the AI like part.
yeah,
Like
yeah,
it
yeah,
senses it and then it gets rid of it. So I'm like, there's no, like, at this point, like, there's not really too much of a way to track it. As long, like, if kids put in information, take exactly the output and put it in a document, like, obviously you're going to detect it. But
right.
most people are a little bit smarter than that. It's hard to be a teacher. It's like at some point you got to like just be creative on how you teach the content because there's always going to be people using those
Yeah,
tools.
yeah. I
And
mean,
you'll always have them from now on. So I don't, we need,
Yeah,
the school system pisses me off. If you couldn't tell.
no, yeah. It'll be interesting to see how it emerges because I mean, like we're already using AI to write papers like the spell check and Grammarly and whatever. I mean,
Yep.
that's AI too.
Same thing.
So, yeah,
Well, it's in everything. It's on every website now, pretty much. It's
yeah,
like I use it day in, day out to write pretty much any text that I need for anything at my job. Like,
yeah.
it's very helpful. It helps me a lot. And then I'll like go in and it's like, obviously it doesn't sound like me because it sounds all like AI.
Right.
And so I have to like make it more human. And then like maybe I'll, misspell a word here,
Yeah,
But
yeah,
it saves me a lot of time. So
for sure.
I know lots of people that are like, I have taught a couple classes to like big groups of people in like the auto industry and stuff on how to utilize it correctly and how to like we can use it in our work to try to, because they're all interested in it and I'm younger, so I know more of what I'm talking about. So there's a lot of interest in it. It's just seeing how it works out. But Bodhi, man, it's been awesome.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me on. It's been a pleasure. Really appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you for taking the time out of your day to meet with me and also like working through all the technical difficulties and whatnot.
Yeah,
I really appreciate it. And thank you guys. No, man, it happens. But thank you guys all for listening, and I hope you learned a thing or two about this absolute bull legend. Hopefully we'll be able to meet up here in the future, Bodhi. I would love to ride with you again, and when I'm down in California, if you end up going to school down there, let me know. But
absolutely, will do.
Either way, keep shredding, keep doing it, and we'll catch you all in the next one.